Mike Tyson, one of, if not the best pro boxer of all time. In his professional career, Mike Tyson fought in 57 bouts. He won 50 of them, 44 of which were by knockout. It took 5 years of professional boxing for Tyson to lose a single fight, and by the time his prime rolled past, he had lost just 3 fights. This man was so dominant that it took a script for an idiot boxer in the prime of his career to beat a 60-year-old Tyson. But that just leaves one question millions lose sleep over every night. If Mike Tyson was cryogenetically frozen for 210 years and woke up after the nuclear apocalypse, would he still be utterly dominant? Or would the new lawless, barbaric fighting style be a bit too much for old man Mike to compete with? Howdy, I'm Geezlarry, and today I'm going to find out exactly that. Like any Fallout 4 character, it starts with the face. Now I couldn't make an exact clone of Mike Tyson, but I got pretty close. After that, I had a chat with a friendly solicitor.
Go away.
And told him that my name was Mike Tyson, because, he has a lisp. And thus, the infamous, dreaded, much feared Mike Tyson was born. In Fallout 4, the higher your strength is, the more damage your melee attacks do. For every point into strength you have, you do 10% more melee and unarmed damage. So in order to make him realistic, I had to do a duplication glitch that could start with 12 strength instead of the usual max, which is 10. After this, I gave him max endurance and enough charisma to get the Lone Wanderer perk, something I'll touch on in just a moment. There are a handful of perks required for Mike Tyson to match his IRL dominance: Iron Fist, Bloody Mess, Rooted, Lone Wanderer, and Toughness. Iron Fist, a perk which once leveled up to the maximum, makes your unarmed melee attacks do double the damage, and since Mike Tyson's weapon of choice, a boxing glove, counts as an unarmed weapon, increasing basic melee damage won't affect it. The Bloody Mess perk increases overall damage to 15%, which doesn't sound like all that much, but it affects all the ways of doing damage, so it would be way too overpowered if it did any more than that. Rooted is a very overlooked perk, but it can be pretty powerful in the right builds because it increases your unarmed and melee damage by 50% at the highest level while you are standing still. Perfect for a 60-year-old boxer. The aforementioned Lone Wanderer perk increases your damage resistance and your damage, as well as your carry weight, but that doesn't matter for this character, while you are traveling alone or with just a dog. And Toughness, instead of increasing your damage, dramatically increases your damage resistance. Those, along with a few other random perks, such as Blacksmith Armor, so I could modify my armor and boxing glove, make this character OP. But we can do more than that. A minute ago, I mentioned that I buffed Tyson's strength to 12, a number that shouldn't even be allowed, technically speaking, but we can go much farther. How, you might ask? Enter Legendary Armor. A legendary piece of armor is a piece of armor that has some kind of effect on it, such as the Safecracker's effect that makes you pick locks easier, or the Mutant Slayer's effect that makes you do a lot more damage to super mutants, and so on. Here's a quick list of every effect a piece of armor can have. But there is only one that I am interested in: Fortifying. The Fortifying effects increases the wearer's strength and endurance by 1 for every piece of armor with Fortifying on it. So the one piece of Fortifying armor, it does a little, but if you have a full set of Fortifying armor, 2 legs, 2 arms, and a chest piece, we're talking an additional 5 strength, which translates to an additional 50% damage buff for unarmed and melee damage. We can get a little better, though, if we go to a place called Hubris Comics and pick up a thing called Grognak's Costume, which increases your strength by 2. The best part of this, though, is that you can still wear armor pieces on your limbs while wearing the costume, so it essentially replaces the chest piece to give an additional 1 strength. Side note, there are outfits you can wear underneath a chest piece as well that increase strength, but the total strength increase would be the same since they just increase it by 1. The reason I'm going with the costume is purely because it looks like something a boxer would wear. Also, a little something I forgot to get while getting everything for my character was the Strength Bobblehead, which is a collectible item that increases strength by another 1. Oops! Anyways, it's time to gear up. Getting Grognak's costume was a breeze, but getting the legendary armor pieces, not so much. You can buy a champion's left arm from some bloke, which, although not called fortifying, does the exact same thing. But the other 3 I'm just going to have to get from killing legendary enemies throughout the map, which is a lot easier said than done. You see, it's rare for an enemy to spawn as a legendary. It ranges a lot based on the skill of the game and your level, but the average is probably somewhere between 5 and 10% for any particular enemy to spawn as legendary. And once you get a legendary enemy, you have to get it to drop an armor piece, which happens probably about 60% of the time. There's no definitive number there, that's just my guess. However, you don't need any old armor piece. You need to be specifically one of the 3 limb pieces you don't have, which would be about a 60% chance from the armor pool. So you got the red armor piece, assuming you don't have any other pieces except for the buyable one. Now you just gotta hope it has fortifying on it, which is a respectable 3% chance. So, to get one of these armor pieces, you'll have to, on average, kill about 1,000 enemies to get one of the right armor pieces. And it only becomes less and less likely the more you get, since you need more specific armor pieces. And it gets up to about 1,000 for the last armor piece. Luckily, there is a solution. Unluckily, it is super tedious and still takes several hours. It's a trick known as loot locking, and I hate it. Loot locking is a method of farming legendary items from enemies, and it works like this. First, you need a building where there are a lot of enemies in it. A few good places are the National Training Yard, Faneuil Hall, or however the crap you say that, and Super Duper Mart. Once you arrive at the building of your choice, but you're still outside, you quick save and then enter. If you killed all the enemies and there was no legendary foes, then load the quick save outside of the building and try again. You do this until you get a legendary to not just spawn, but also drop the particular piece of armor/weapon that you want. Once you have the desired item, then you load the autosave of entering the building instead of the quick save. This saves the legendary and the item it drops, but for whatever reason, the effect on said item isn't saved, so every time you kill the legend after loading the autosave, it will be a random effect. Still tedious and grueling, but it's a way to better brute force legendary items than just wandering around until you hit the exact effect and item combo that you need. After I bought the champion arm, I went to the National Training Yard to loot lock, and it took about half an hour or so. Not bad, but I still had to do it 2 more times. How bad could it be? Really bad. First, I went to Faneuil Hall because super mutants have a higher chance of being a legendary since they are higher level, but after a solid hour or 2 of trying, I didn't even get a legendary to drop the piece of armor I needed. The next day, I decided to call an audible and go to Super Duper Mart, a low-level place, but easier and faster to clear out. I sighed a sigh of relief when I got a legendary ghoul to drop a right arm. However, that relief did not last long. I started killing, looting, reloading, then killing again on repeat for multiple hours. I lost count of how many times I'd looted the dead legendary ghoul after about 120, but I kept going for another half hour, 40 minutes. After rage quitting for the day, I came back the next day ready to rock and roll, and by rock and roll, I mean rock and rage after I went another hour or more without getting stupid fortifying! After about 4 hours of loot logging without ever getting the fortifying armor, I made a tough decision. I decided to cheat. Now before you complain about me cheating, how about you go kill the same 10 ghouls over and over again for 4 hours, knowing all the while that you not only need to get this piece of armor to drop, but also repeat this process again when you finally do get it. And besides that, the point of Mike Tyson is to be lore accurate. And if you really think about it, what is more lore accurate than cheating? It was the 80s. The guy was probably on steroids for most of his career. So anyways, I used console commands about fortifying on 2 of the pieces of armor, and then putting my criminal activity behind me, there was only to get the perks I needed, and for that, I needed to level up. A lot. Many levels later, and we are ready to see if Mike Tyson has got what it takes to dominate in the year 2287. Now, before I actually get into the test, which I will explain in but a moment, I want to show you some figures. I didn't show you any numbers. I didn't tell you how much damage my boxing glove did, but I had to tell you that does a lot. First, though, I'm going to show you my perk chart. This is Iron Fist, This is toughness. Most of these I covered earlier when I was just ranting, but a couple of them, like Life Giver, that's just to give me extra health. This rad resistant is to give me radiation, because normally I would just wear a hazmat suit, which is way better than just getting the perk, but I would have had to take all my armor off and thus lose, I believe, 6 strength. So that would have been a pickle. We obviously had to go lore accurate, so I got Cannibal, the Cannibal perk. That was a necessity, so I got that one for sure. And then Solar Powered increases 2 to strength on the first level during the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that puts my strength up to 20 in the daytime hours. And all of the other ones I believe I mentioned, except for Strong Back. And that just makes you carry more stuff. Now, the boxing glove. I think base boxing glove with no upgrades and no perks into it does about 36 damage. Mine does a little bit more than that. Okay? I'm going to give you a little context, a little reference point. A fragmentation grenade, okay, does 188 damage. My boxing glove does 194. So if my guy punches you in the head, you'll take less damage than if you were holding a grenade in your mouth. I don't know why I said it in your mouth specifically. That's kind of dark, but you get the point. It does a lot of damage. I also killed Swan, so I got the Furious Power Fist, which does a laughably large amount of damage and 388. Although I'm mostly going to use a lead lining boxing glove, I got the Furious Power Fist in case the boxing glove didn't quite cut it. And if you're saying this isn't Mike Tyson's style, well, it isn't. I will admit that, but his prime was over 300 years ago. Okay, it was a long time ago. He's had to adapt since then. He's had to adapt and change his fighting style because there's a lot more fearsome foes out and about than there was when he was in his prime. So he had to adapt. That's what the Furious Power Fist is for. It's for the big boy enemies. I wish I hadn't said that. Now for the test. I'm going to explain you what the test is, because you're probably wondering how am I supposed to figure out if he's dominant. Just by looking at the numbers? No, I have a test. I have a 5-level test to see if he is dominant. Starting at level 1, we're going to a place called the Combat Zone, which is basically a boxing arena full of raiders. And if that goes easily, then I'll move on to level 2, which will be Trinity Tower, which is full of super mutants. Not super high level super mutants, but super mutants nonetheless. Level 3, I'm going to skip right to the glowing sea and just start wandering through it relatively aimlessly. I have a goal destination because level 4 is the said goal destination, and that is going to be the Enclave hideout, which I believe is about somewhere over here. And then if I beat that, level 5 is a place called Spectacle Island, which is right here. This, you're probably wondering why Spectacle Island. Well, if you know anything about Fallout 4, you know that Spectacle Island has a bunch of Mirelurks on it. And well, Mirelurks would seem a downgrade from the glowing sea fighting Deathclaws and Rad Scorpions and guys in power armor with lightning Teslas shooting at me. I will tell you that it is actually harder for one very specific reason, and that is because Mirelurks, their shells have a ton of damage resistance. So if you punch a Mirelurk shell, it's gonna do like 0 damage. So they're very hard to beat for melee characters. And the other reason I'm going there afterward is because there is a Mirelurk Queen. So there's a big boss in that. Now, if during any of the 5 levels of this challenge, if I die just one time, then I fail the challenge and cannot say with any certainty that Mike Tyson is dominant in the year 2287. Behind me is the combat zone. That is level 1. I'm not going to show this because I'm not going to show the whole thing. I'm probably just going to sim through it in a little bit of a time lapse. But this is level 1. Should be pretty easy. Starting with this guy right here. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage.
Fine, keep
Nice juke. Oh, punch his head off. Well, that wasn't all that difficult. I didn't even heal any single time, and I barely took any damage. Super easy. Let's move on to level 2, which is Trinity Tower. That should be a little bit harder.
now?
Maybe I'll even take a little bit of damage. Behind me is Trinity Tower, and that is one angry super mutant. The whole building's full of them. You can see it's very tall, and so I'm just gonna go through and clear out the whole place. And shouldn't be too hard because these super mutants are relatively low level. Well, Trinity Tower wasn't all that hard either, and it's time to step this up. Level 1, really easy. Level 2, also super easy. Didn't even go to half health, and I never even healed myself. So it's time to go to level 3, which is all the way over to the glowing sea, where I will not only have to be fighting beastly creatures of the irradiated wasteland, but I'll also have to survive the radiation in and of itself. Welcome to the glowing sea. It is during a radiation storm as well. And first, let me take my first drugs of the day. You heard that correctly. Please don't take that out of context. I'm going to take some Rad-X to alleviate some of the radiation poisoning. And we're just going to march through the glowing sea and see if we can survive until we make it to the Enclave hideaway, which will be the next level. The rule is, a rule that I never stated specifically, is that the only weapons I can use are my boxing glove, the Furious Power Fist, and the occasional grenade. So I can throw a grenade in there, but I can't pull out like a minigun and start fighting with that. I gotta use, for actual like weapons, gotta use punching weapons. I kind of want to avoid those, but that's not really very... I wouldn't say I'm dominating the wasteland if I'm avoiding all the monsters. So I kind of just gotta punch. Okay, I'm just gonna use VATS here. I can't bats anything. Okay, just freaking punch him. Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I low? One of them? There goes two of them. And there goes the last one. Easy peasy. But like, as I was saying, I can't really say I can dominate the... I am dominant if I just avoid all the hard enemies. So if I see an enemy, the rule is if I see an enemy, I must go attack it. Like that rad scorpion right there, I have to go attack it. Come here, buddy. Going to the ground, huh? Trying to get me on a sneak attack? I'm in third person, not gonna sneak up on me. You're not gonna sneak up on me. Bye-bye, little fella. Oh look, there's another, another rat scorpion. This one did sneak up on me. Oh no. Alright, that was... Oh! Another one. Another one. You're gonna have to try a lot harder than that, guys. Let's hit it with a grenade. I just threw a grenade off of Dog Me. Alright, that didn't work. Bounce off his back. Where are you? Did he go? Oh, there it is! Punch. Punch. You look, I look cool. I have to kill this guy. He looks awesome. The glowing looks cool. He's dead. Alrighty. Lots of ghouls. Deathclaw! Glowing Deathclaw, come here, buddy. Come at me, bro. What you got? What you got on me? I'm Mike freaking Tyson, bro. Eat this. Eat leaded boxing glove, mate. I can't punch. Get punched. Get comboed. Get comboed. I didn't block that. I don't think I can block his punches. He's too mighty. But I can just tank it. You're going down, man. You're going down. You're doomed. I'm not doing all that much damage. Do I get distracted on Dog Me? Come on. I'm not gonna take healing for this. I don't need to. 2 more punches should do it. I'm stuck looking up. There we go! You really thought, bro, really thought he could defeat Mike freaking Tyson. Well, I have news for you. You can't! And now, for level 4. Enclave soldiers. What the heck gun is he holding? I think he has one of those thingies. Now, remember what I said? I can only use my fists and grenades, so I'm just gonna loft a grenade up there. Chuck another grenade. And we have to go around. I don't exactly remember where to get in. But I'm just gonna circle the building until I see an entrance. Right here should do it. No, I have to go up here. Went all the way around. I could have just walked right on over. So the entrance is right over here. Ooh, Tesla cannon. Neat. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, I'm about to fight all y'all.
Here 1 second, go on the next.
Oh no, the door's closed behind me. Hello, buddy. Hello, friend. Hello, guys. Hello. Do you really think you can beat me with just a little plasma machine gun? You're gonna have to try a lot harder than that, my friends. A lot harder than that indeed. Because you have to find a computer to open the doors. Hello, buddy. Punch. 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 And punch. Ooh, some more drugs? Mike Tyson will always take drugs if he is given the opportunity. That's a turret. It actually does a little bit of damage. This guy does a lot of damage. Give him a machine gun. Let's see if we can disarm him. Nice, we got him. We got him. Taking a stim pack. What's in this door? Whoa! That's a bomb. What? Where's his head? What? Where's his head? Why is he headless? Why is he headless? What? What? What is that? What's going on in his body? Is that his butt? Why is it so big? Moving on. There's some more soldiers I have to take care of. And by some more soldiers, I mean a freaking vertibird. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really think about how I'm supposed to beat a vertibird with my boxing glove. But maybe it'll land. So if I could just kind of ignore it, maybe it'll land. All the monsters will, or everybody inside of it will just like leave and hop out to try to kill me. I'm not sure if it will do that or not, though. I'm gonna have to take a gamble. Is what seems to be the case. Let's, ooh, that guy's got a flamer. Oh, I'm so dead. Let me grab some, couple steaks. Let me right on up. This guy's dead. This guy, luckily, doesn't have a pork. Oh, I one-shot him. What? How am I eating him for? Well, I guess I'm eating him. Lore accurate Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? The others guys are up on this cliff. Oh no, the guys in the vertibird. Come down, guys. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me. I'm waiting for you. Oh, almost. It doesn't look like they're gonna land. And Dogmeat is actively trying to get me killed. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I think I'm gonna have to switch to a weapon. Maybe I'll use a Tesla cannon to take him out. There goes the vertibird. And, whoa! What? Good sir, are you okay? Sir? Sir, are you good? Are you ascending? What? Are you okay? What? I don't think he's okay. That's everything, right? Yeah, it's gone. So that is level 4. Level 4 is completed. I did have to use a Tesla cannon to kill the vertibird, but that's simply because it was out of my reach. The vertibird, I couldn't reach it. They were cheating. But say what you will about my rules, I made them up. I certainly can break them. Moving on to level number 5, which is, of course, Spectacle Island. Alright guys, I'm paused because I was going to set up and be like, big intro and be like, this is level 5, Spectacle Island! You know, and be all dramatic about it. But I loaded in and there's this little creature chasing me around. So I couldn't really set up and do like a whole intro thing. But it's a Mirelurk King, which are pretty rare. They're not as feisty as Mirelurk Queens, and they don't have the armor that regular Mirelurks have, but they do a lot more damage and are more freaky. And I definitely didn't get jump scared by the freaky little red thing chasing me. But anywho, I'm just gonna run around these beaches and kill all the Mirelurks that I see. Starting over this way. I think there's Mirelurks on this side of the beach. That's just a regular old Mirelurk. Oh, that is... okay. That's a Mirelurk hunter. Alrighty. There's a Mirelurk Razor Claw. See if I can take care of this really quickly before a hunter gets into my bones. Now the hunter just spitting acid at me.
Got the kill card. That's the kill card down. Soft draw Mirelurk down. Now I gotta kill the Mirelurk Hunter, which they don't. They do a lot more damage. They have a range attack, but they don't have as much health, which is good. Although he's blocking me really well. All right. Tough battle. Tough battle indeed. But I have survived the first wave. Ooh, there's another Mirelurk King. Dude, stop hitting me with your sound waves. That's how they fight. They just go and blast you with the sound waves. I'm stuck on a tree. That guy did not die at peace. Oh, here it is. Past it. There we are. Now we're gonna go this way. The Mirelurk Queen is... Oh, it's right there. That's a little bit closer than I thought it was gonna be. Let's see if we can take care of some of these other Mirelurks before the Mirelurk Queen attacks me. And Mirelurk Queens do a lot of damage too, and they have a ranged attack. So this is gonna be really difficult, and I'm gonna have to take a lot. I'm gonna have to consume lots of drugs, which may not be frowned upon by like morals and stuff like that. But I feel like it's fine. I mean, we're playing lower accuracy, so if you take like a Psycho, and we take a buff out, Fury adds increased melee damage by 50%. I've been saving this for level 5. As level 5, time to take ourselves a Fury. This adds some strength. Might as well take some beer. How about wine? That adds strength. Sure. I'll get some wine. Ooh, whiskey. Sure, I'll take some whiskey. Vodka as well. Sure, why not? I'll take it any time of the day. And how much damage do we do? Our strength right now is 23. And our damage is looking like 266! 533! Oh yeah. We got this, man. I've so got this. I've so got this. Come here, buddy boy. Come here. Come here. Oh, that does not do much damage at all. That doesn't do very much damage. Oh no. Oh no. Oh gosh, I gotta get out of here. Hold on. I think, you know what, guys? I think it's time to pull out the big guns. I think it's time to use the Furious Power Fist. Come here, buddy. Furious Power Fist time. Whoop! That's more like it. That is more like it. There's infinite creatures behind me. I'm going to run over here. Throw a grenade. Throw a grenade. Throw a grenade. And then, punch. Punch. Oh, I'm taking a health, so I got to go to my apparel. I'm gonna eat a Mirelurk Queen steak. It's gonna give me the power I need. The Mirelurk Queen steak. We got him! We got him! I'm gonna die to baby Mirelurks. Hold on. Let me just take another quantum. And then I'm gonna go back to my baseball bat because it hits a lot faster, and that's what we need right there. There is still a hunter somewhere. Where is he? There he is, hiding in the bushes, are we? Get dumb. Oh. That was close. That almost killed me! But I survived! I survived! We did it! All it took was consuming every drug that's ever been created by mankind. But we did it! That's all it took. It just took taking a bunch of drugs, beer, whiskey. It's a good thing I have a copy of Alcoholics Anonymous after this one. Jeez Mary, but what a fight. Brutal fight. Big fight. But we got it. We got it. Mike Tyson defeated the Mirelurk Queen and every foe that the game has to offer.
ladies and gentlemen, the answer to the question, can Mike Tyson still be dominant in the year 2287 after being cryogenetically frozen for 210 years during the nuclear fallout? Could he still be dominant, or would the new barbaric and lawless and gruesome fighting style developed by the survivors of the nuclear blasts just out compete him? Would it be a little bit too much for him? The answer is no, because Mike Tyson adapts, and Mike Tyson survives. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, and have a good one, and see ya.